Hi there, Andre from Peak Motorcycles here, and I'm at EICMA 2022. As you can see, I'm at the Suzuki stand, and over my shoulder you can see the new V-Strom 800. So for a long time I've struggled to get excited about Suzuki. There's a bit of nostalgia for the old Gixxers. They always look great, but they are getting a bit long in the tooth, and I think I'm past my sports bike days. The V-Stroms, I think, are perfectly competent bikes. I rode the new 1050 XT when it came out, and I thought it was pretty good. Priced very well, but just didn't excite me enough to get one. I think with these new bikes, with the new 800 it's come out, I think it's going to give the Transalp some competition, but it's 230 kilos, which I think is a little heavy still for a middleweight adventure bike. Nevertheless, there's several things on the stand here, including the new DE editions of the 800 and the 1050, the more adventure versions of the V-Strom. So I'll show you around the stand. I'm sure there's some other things I can get excited about, but yeah, we'll see. Here we go. Okay, so here we go. So first up, I'm looking at the V-Strom DE 800s. This is the new bike that's just come out. This one looks very plain with just the bike as it comes. There is another one which I'll show you in a minute that has all the luggage and everything on it. And yeah, looks pretty well put together. It's got a big old screen. That's a very chunky exhaust, but then most bikes these days do have that. And the bike itself looks fairly low to the ground. Doesn't look that high and adventure-y to me, and I think that bash guard probably needs to be replaced with something else. But having said that, you know, it looks like a pretty decent bike. I think it's certainly an improvement over the old 650, and I'll go and show you one of the more adventurized models in just a moment. So here we go. So coming up here, you can see it again in yellow. I think that's a lot more striking than the other one. And then this one up at the back here, if I can just show you that is fully equipped with luggage and a big proper bash guard and spotlights and everything else on it. It's still the V-Strom 800DE with those crash bars at the side. Like I say, the full luggage, full screen. In fact, I can actually give you a quick view of the screen in there. There you go. It actually looks quite big from up here. I might see if I can actually stand on it and give you a look. So I'm just going to have a quick go on this new V-Strom 800. So sitting up here, actually, this is the DE edition, and this actually feels really big. I mean, like really big. It's got really wide bars. This tank in front of me, it's kind of GSA sort of size. And there's actually just a really big distance between the back of the screen and here. Yeah, I mean, that's actually a really, really comfortable place to be. The only downside, I think, with this bike is, once again, it's a middleweight bike. This one weighs, I think, 230 kilos, but it's pretty comfortable to be standing up in. Just from where that screen is, on my GS, I feel like the screen is somewhere here. So that is just a long way back, and actually, yeah, that does feel nice. I mean, I know all these bikes feel nice when you sit on them. I guess that's kind of the purpose of having them here. This one, with all the other bars and the accessories on, I suspect it's tipping the scales a little bit higher. But yeah, this is a bike I quite like. So I'll just give you a really close-up look. You can see that big 21-inch front wheel, which I guess is very similar to what we've seen today on the new Transalp. Like I say, from looking from the side, maybe you can see a bit better just how big that gap is between the bars and the screen. See that new twin 800cc engine underneath that. I think it's 70-something, maybe 80-something horsepower. I will check the specs. But yeah, just to give you a quick walk around, see the side stand that's on there. It's got a centre stand. Those gold rims look pretty special. I think it's LED lights all the way around. This one's got the Suzuki luggage fitted to it, and then this aftermarket bash guard, which I believe is also a Suzuki part, together with the spotlights located low down there. So yeah, I think it's a very tidy looking middleweight adventure bike. I mean, I say middleweight, but again, it's 200 and something kilos. So yeah, still hardly lightweight. It's nearly as heavy as my GS. But I think compared to the old V-Strom, I think this is a marked improvement, and the Adventure Edition actually feels like a pretty big bike. So I will look up some of the more specs, especially around the size of that fuel tank, because it really does look absolutely enormous. But yeah, nice one, Suzuki. I approve. A few other bikes show you up here is we've got their new naked Suzuki 8S. That's the other colourway for the 800 V-Strom. I quite like that actually, in the black and the blue. Again, without all the accessories on the bike. Just coming around here, we've got the old V-Strom 650 still doing its thing. I think we have a V-Strom 1050, that's the older one. There's an old DR in a rally spec, and then right down here at the front we have another, I think it's another 650, I believe, probably. Yeah, it's another V650, and then at the back here we have the 1050DE. So again, this is the adventure version of the 1050. If I come at the back, there's an RMZ, pair of RMZs just hanging up there. That's a 450 and 250. And then we have a number of Suzuki scooters here at the back. Apologies to all the scooter fans out there. I never really know what to say to them. So here we are over on the more sporty side of the stand. We've got the GSX-S 125. I think these look great. The little Gixxers, the baby Gixxers. I think if I was learning to ride a bike and after a 125, I think they just look awesome. Coming over here, we've got the SV650, the new one, which again, I think is brilliant. The SV650 has always been a remarkable bike, and that was one of the few that I really could still get excited about from Suzuki. We've also got the SV650X, which has a few of the bells and whistles on it. I think it's that sort of ribbed seating and some of the graphics. Coming through, we've got the Katana, launched a couple of years ago as the new Katana. Still looks quite futuristic, but then again, the one from the 80s looked quite futuristic as well. So does that make this look a little bit 80s? That front end, that headlight certainly has some harking back to that. Here we have the GSX-S GT, and this is actually based on a Gixxer engine. I think these are brilliant. If you want a Japanese 4 and a comfortable touring bike that's just mental, then I think, yeah, you could do a lot worse than this. There's a few, I think, updates here. They've got this great TFT screen in there now, which I can show you that. That looks pretty awesome. And then there is another one just in front. So that's also the GSX-X GT, but just in the darker blue. So yeah, really, really nice looking bikes. Yeah, maybe this is a Suzuki turning things around a little bit. Not entirely sure about that front end, but you know what? I think when they look this good and they go this well, you'd get used to it, wouldn't you? And I'm sure these have sold in their droves. I'm trying to think of another sports tourer that I would rather have than this, and I think I am struggling a little bit. And mainly because I'm here, I will just show you the Hayabusas. They have 3 of them on display here. I mean, these are legendary bikes now. And when you look at the dash, things have been modernized somewhat, but you can still tell that this is a bike from another time. I mean, I think they will do anything, go anywhere, at great speed. The Hayabusans are legendary, and they have been around for a while. They still look amazing, they still look incredible, and they still go like nothing else on earth. So that was it. That's my quick look around the Suzuki stand here at EICMA 2022. Some really interesting new bikes, especially that 800, to see the DE version. Yeah, I think there's a very strong contender there. I think it's certainly something that is going to more than replace the V-Strom 650. I think the V-Strom 800, especially the DE version, is going to sell really, really well. So hopefully this has been interesting and useful. If it has, maybe check out my other content from EICMA, and thank you very much for watching.